It's 8:30. Good morning, I'm Ian Crouch with Hunter News. The Hunter could be in for more wild weather later this week. Another east coast low appears to be forming off the coast of Queensland, with rain forecast from tomorrow right through to the weekend. NBN weatherman Gavin Morris has told 2NURFM's Todd Sargent Weather Bureau modelling shows it will be in the northern parts of New South Wales, with the Hunter being on the fringe of the weather system.
As it comes closer, the falls will get heavier and heavier, heavy downpours at times, the potential for flash flooding and the winds will pick up strength. But as I said, we're on the tail end of this system, so it shouldn't sit over us and unleash all of its energy on us. So the worst days for us are going to be later in the week.
Meanwhile, the floodwaters from last week's storm are continuing to recede, meaning Gilliston Heights and Hinton are no longer cut off. However, some properties around Maitland remain isolated, including at Toryburn, where residents are using a flying fox to get supplies across the river. Ausgrid crews will again be focusing on Port Stephens today, mainly at Saltash and Salamander Bay. Just over 10,000 homes and businesses are still without power across the Hunter. Premier Mike Baird will be visiting the village of Bulga today as part of his election promise to take a personal interest in the concerns of residents. The Premier will be meeting residents as well as representatives from the thoroughbred and mining industries over land use conflicts. John Cray from the Bulga Milbrodale Progress Association says the proposed expansion of the Mount Thorley Warkworth coal mine will decimate the village.
We would like Mike Baird to walk away from here with a full understanding of the problems that this mine would cause, the problems that his government has caused us and other communities by changing the rules, and we want Baird to go back and say we must stand by the law of the land. 2 courts have said this should not proceed, and to stop the mine.
Newcastle police are investigating a violent Anzac Day attack on an 11-year Army veteran at Cooks Hill. Corporal Scott Brown was either glassed or elbowed as he left the toilets at the Hotel Delaney on Saturday night and was left with a large gash across his right cheekbone and bloodstains over his war medals. The Singleton Army Base instructor has told the Herald his attacker claimed to be a commando. A roundtable forum is being held by the Independent Pricing and Regulatory Tribunal in Newcastle today to discuss the costs and convenience of taxis in the region. Feedback is being sought from the community on a draft report released earlier this month by IPART, which recommends freezing fares at current levels for 12 months from July. As well as a fare freeze, IPART's draft report recommends reform of the way taxis are licensed outside Sydney to address an undersupply of cabs in regional areas like Newcastle. IPART Chairman Peter Boxall says feedback on the draft report is vital.
We've got a public forum today at the Novotel, and we're taking registrations from 10 a.m, and the forum will go from 10:30 to 1 p.m. We're seeking feedback from all stakeholders, including, of course, people who are drivers or operators in the taxi industry, but also the members of the public who take taxis, or also those people who would like to take taxis if they could afford to.
Today's planned stop work day for Hunter Catholic schools has been cancelled after union members and the Catholic Commission for Employment Relations reached a consensus. While negotiations are ongoing and a full enterprise agreement may take more than a year, the Independent Education Union is pleased with results so far. Union General Secretary John Queasy says an offer has been made.
We finally, and it's really for the first time, we actually have an offer from employers. Up until this time, we've just been talking a little bit in a vacuum. We thought we'd reached agreement on some things, but we didn't have confirmation. The 11 different Catholic diocesan employers had the same understandings as us. We have that understanding now.
Now with sport, Emily Crowe.
Newcastle Knight star Chanel Matautia has been named as part of the New South Wales Cup representative side this weekend. The 22-year-old will play alongside his brother Peter when New South Wales take on rivals Queensland at Tap Out Energy Stadium on Sunday. The side will feature the best up-and-coming players in the New South Wales Cup, with the team entering camp tomorrow night before flying out to Brisbane for the clash. The Newcastle Jets will look to ink a new contract with Serbian Enver Alividic today as up to 8 other players wait to learn their future. Alividic has made an impression on a short-term stint at the Jets since February and is expected to fill the second of 5 visa spots available for next season. The Jets have already signed Korean left-back Lee Ki-ji for a 2-year extension of his contract. And in water skiing, YE Point's Connor Rogers will look towards nabbing his second World Championship after winning the Australian Junior Barefoot Water Skiing Championship. That's sport, I'm Emily Crowe.
2NURFM News Time, 25 to 9.